Okay, so what you need to know, all the basics of beginning weight training. I'm going to be covering the intensity, the volume, sets and reps, workout design, and exercise selection. Possibly a few more, but stay tuned. Okay, so intensity. I like to measure intensity of my 1 rep max, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So, working at a 60% 1 rep max compared to 90% gives you no extra strength, an increase in strength or muscular hypertrophy, so muscle size. So what's the point of working at 90%, which is probably going to be harder than 60%, right? Plus 60% of your 1 rep max has got loads more benefits. You're probably wondering, like, what's this going to talk about 60% on my 1 rep max? Basically, is pick a weight where you can do about 15 to 20 reps. That will be close to 60% 1 rep max. And the benefits of this is, let's say you haven't done a deadlift before. You have 15 to 20 reps to get the right technique, right? Because you probably see loads of people in the gym with incorrect technique and getting injured. So work at your 60% 1 rep max, in my humble opinion. And I forgot to mention, this is all backed by research. This is not just some guy telling you some bullshit information. Okay, so next is volume. I recommend about 1 to 3 sets per exercise, no more than that, especially if you're a beginner or muscle group. So you could actually do 1 to 2 sets, in fact, because think about this. Let's say you're doing 3 sets, you're actually starting off with 3 sets of bench press. Then after a few months, your results plateau, but this is like quite a lot of months because you're still a beginner. Then you increase it to 4 sets, then 5 sets, then 6 sets, then after a while it's going to be 10 sets. So the reason why I'm saying keep the sets low is to maximize your gains at the lowest amount of volume that you can do. I hope this makes sense, because let's just say I'll repeat myself again. You start off with 3 sets instead of 1. After a few months, you're plateaued, you have to increase the sets again. Then instead of starting from 1, going to 2 sets, you're going from 3 to 4. And after a while, you're going to plateau and you're going to almost be stuck. So that's about it on the volume on the sets. Next is reps. Okay, so the reps are quite dependent on the circumstances. High reps are beneficial, because like I said before, you can get the technique right. But if you already have the technique right, low reps are also beneficial. Strength gains and much more like that. So it's really dependent on the circumstance. Just make sure you have the right technique and you'll be good to go. Okay, so frequency. This is really, really important. If anything out of this video, I want you to take this piece of information. I want you to train 2 to 3 times a week, and I'll come on to the split in a minute. But the reason for this is training 2 to 3 times a week allows you to get all the movements right, all the exercises, get the right techniques. Because let's face it, you don't want to go into the gym, start increasing the weight week by week, having an incorrect technique. It might be short term, increasing your ego. After a while you get injured and you won't be getting any muscle gains. So train 2 to 3 times a week, hitting each muscle group. I don't recommend any more than that, because like I said before, when you plateau you want to increase that and increase that. If you're just going to 6 times a week, 7 times a week, I don't know what you're doing. Also, I don't recommend the so-called bro split, training each muscle group once a week. That is just not very practical. Maybe in some circumstances it is, but for the general average person it definitely isn't. So 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what, 2 to 3 times a week doing push-pull leg split, upper body, lower body? No, this is where it is, the workout design. We'll be doing 2 to 3 times a week, full body training splits. And this is not, when you go into your full body, but I'll talk about this next, exercise selection. This is not doing compound lifts for every single muscle group, doing 3 to 4 exercises for every muscle group. Just start off light, get the movements going, about 1 exercise for each muscle group, will be good. Okay, so lastly is exercise selection. So a lot of people, and this included me, I was always telling people do compound lifts. They're going to be great for you, but this depends on an individual. For example, if I was training a 60-year-old woman and she was just starting, I'll be putting on her machines. She's not going to want to jump on free weights. Firstly, she's going to feel uncomfortable and she's never going to come back. So it depends on the circumstance. I'm assuming, if you're watching this, probably a bodybuilder or conscious about their physique, just want to get in good shape, I do recommend compound lifts, but this is really important what I'm about to say. It's important to do the exercises that you feel are beneficial. For example, if you're doing a barbell row and you can't feel the contractions in your back, you can't feel your muscles working like it should be, change the exercise up. So do cable rows. And I'm using this as an example myself. I do barbell rows and I can't really seem to feel it a lot. So I change it to cable rows and I really feel it. So exercise selection is quite variable. See what works for you and what doesn't. But mainly compound lifts are really beneficial because they train most muscle groups like deadlifts, train your whole body, squats, overhead press. There's loads of them. Compound exercises are really good. So I'm repeating myself now, but as always, I hope you find this useful. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to click the little red button down below and it should go, I think, grey. Yeah, that's a good button you should click. No, I'm joking, kidding. As always, stay positive, stay smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.